So all my OGs, you already know what's T, okay? Y'all know I read books, I read tarot, and I read people, right? But to all of my newbies that's coming in, just go ahead and pull up a seat and get comfortable, babes, because it does get a little chaotic over here, all right? There's really no niche, no real niche at that. We operating in true ADHD form, okay? So just vibe out, okay? I promise you it's still very much a vibe. It might be a chaotic vibe, but it's still a vibe nonetheless. With all that being said, I know I might look like last week's video, all right? That's because I definitely am recording these in the same day. Now, don't worry about all that, all right? Let's just focus on the matter at hand. My OGs already know what time it is every single Tuesday, okay? So this is my way of pouring into my subscribers, my community, my little tribe, because we go out into this world all the time, constantly giving to others, constantly pouring into everything else. And a lot of times we forget to pour into ourselves. So this is my way of doing just that, my way of kind of giving back to the community, so to speak. So this is what I like to call tarot therapy, aka Tarot Tuesday. If this is not what you're here for, if this ain't your type of vibe, baby, I promise you that's cool. You can head over to my playlist over there. Has all the vlogs, all the book content, everything else that may have initially brought you over to my channel. Check it out, vibe out, not a problem. But for those that do enjoy these videos every single week and y'all want to hear what I got to say today, let's go ahead and get into the vibes. Now that we back in action, babes, our girl Mercury finna get her micro braids in, okay? She finna get them braids back in, all right? This is Mercury retrograde season, you guys, and it is going to be kicking off on the 15th. By the time I drop this video, I don't know what day it's gonna be. Hold on, let's look at the calendar. Okay, so by the time this video will be coming out, it'll be March 11th. So we'll still be in the pre-shadow period. Retrograde doesn't actually kick off until the 15th. Now, for those that's looking at me crazy like, bitch, what the fuck is a retrograde? Let me explain, okay? Certain planets go into retrograde throughout the year, all right? And like I say in every single video, because we are living on Earth, we are all affected by whatever is going on, not only in the world, but also astrologically. Okay, that's just a scientific fucking fact. I mean, honestly, that's just logical common sense, but whatever. With that being said, Mercury is the planet of communication, the planet of technology and all of those things. Mercury is ruled by Gemini. So a lot of people with Gemini placements and even Virgo placements will be affected more than other signs throughout this time because that is the ruling planet. But you do have other signs that will also be affected by this particular planet. So before I jump into this quick little spread, what I want you guys to be aware of is you still have control over everything that you're able to control, okay? You can't control anything outside of yourself except for self. Now, being that this particular retrograde is going to be transitioning from the sign of Pisces to the sign of Aries, you can expect things to get a little bit chaotic. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Aries energy is a very impulsive type energy. It's a very warlike energy. It's a very spicy type energy. It's fire energy, right? So during this time, you can expect people's attitudes to be a little bit extra, okay? You can expect people to have more disagreements. You can expect to see more fights and misunderstandings, okay? That's one thing. You could even expect road rage at its highest because like I said, people's energy is heightened during this time. So things you kind of want to be aware of, you want to make sure that you're double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking everything, okay? Everything that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're checking that thing off and you're double checking to make sure that you did what you said you was going to do. Something as simple as turning the stove off. You might have thought about it, but did you do it? Make sure you double check and do it. It's that type of energy, because it's a very mental type of energy. It could kind of, you know, fuck with your head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And during this time frame, whenever Mercury goes retrograde, we start to move. We're being told that, I'm sorry if y'all can hear my kids. Whenever retrograde starts to, well, whenever Mercury retrograde starts to kick off, one of the main things that you'll hear a lot of people say is to slow down. This is not the time period where you want to do things fast. This is not the time period where you want to like try to knock everything out quickly and expeditiously. You want to make sure that you take your time. You take your time driving. You take your time explaining things and talking to people. You take your time doing whatever it is that you do on a daily basis. Do not rush. Rushing throughout this time will make mistakes or accidents, depending on what you got going on. So you want to make sure that you take your time throughout any Mercury retrograde, not just this one, but any one. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into a quick little spread for you guys, just to see what you can expect throughout this particular transit, and also what it is that you should prepare for, or you know, get yourself ready for. And let me say this, I'm not one of those people that like to instill fear. That's not what I do. But I do like to get people prepared for what's getting ready to take place. Mercury retrograde is nothing to fear. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to feel like you just can't do anything that you want to do. It's not that type of time. It's not that type of energy. Retrograde, you just have to be more cautious. You just have to be a lot more cautious, because you don't want to make mistakes, right? And mistakes are going to happen, but you want to just try to avoid as much mistakes as you can, right? So we're going to see what it is that is going to come out for you guys. And before, one thing she going to do is sing in the background, baby. But what was I getting ready to say? Yeah, I realized I just jumped right into this without giving all of my disclaimers, but all I want y'all to do is remember that time and energy is fluid, okay? So anything can come out in this spread, but whatever comes out, it doesn't mean that it's set in stone. It doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. All energy is subject to change based on your own free will, okay? So make sure you just remember that as you're receiving these messages, but also keep an open heart and an open mind as we're tapping into said messages, okay? That way you're able to get whatever it is that's actually meant for you. And if it doesn't sound like it's for you, or if it doesn't resonate with you personally, leave it for somebody else, okay? Not everything that's said is going to be for you, being that it's multiple people that's going to be tapping in. All right, so let's go ahead and see what's going to come out here. All right, so what is the energy for this Mercury retrograde? Okay. Harmony is here. I already knew that would be a thing. We got the sacral chakra that's here. Okay. Wow. We also have awareness, and we have choose wisely that came out. Okay. Now, usually I put these cards up for y'all to see, but I'm just going to talk kind of swiftly throughout all of this, and I'll show you what's here. Now, the first card that came out is harmony. And as you can see with harmony, this has a person on there. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean a romantic connection. This could solely just mean your connections in general. Remember what I said? Retrograde does cause confusion within connections, or just communication with others, okay? So, and as I split the deck, you see the Lovers. I can't make this shit up. I tell y'all that all the time. Can't make this shit up. And it's crazy. In my other deck, the Lovers is here too. So you got 3 different decks that's here that's coming out and showing you energy that has to do with you connecting with others, okay? So within saying that, you want to be mindful with how you move with other people. also be mindful that other people may be moving a little bit differently during this time frame as well. So you not only want to give yourself grace, you want to try to give others grace during this time frame. There is going to be miscommunication. There's going to be miscommunication. Your thought process might slow down a little bit. I'm a person to where whenever retrograde is getting ready to kick off, because I'm already feeling it now and it's not even here yet. But you know, I'm a person that's like in tune with what's going on in the atmosphere energetically. So for me personally, there are time frames to where it's harder for my brain to process what's going on or process what's being said to me. And that's what's happening to me that's what's happening to me this go round. People are talking to me, or there's things that I need to be doing, but it's like I'm drawing a blank, or my brain is trying to play catch up with whatever's going on, or with whatever's being said. And for somebody else, that can be frustrating, because if they're communicating with me and I'm just not picking up what they're putting down, that can cause them to be frustrated, which can in turn cause miscommunication, or it can cause an argument or disagreement, or whatever the case may be, right? Like I said, you want to make sure that you're not only giving yourself grace during this time frame. If people aren't understanding you, or they're, you know, being rude to you, or whatever the case may be, give yourself grace if you're struggling with understanding other people during this time frame, or even if it's not people, just understanding what you're being presented with, right? But you also want to make sure that you're giving others understanding as well, because some people don't even realize that this is what's going on, right? They're just kind of operating in the energy just because they're being affected by the energy. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself grace as well as others in terms of communication, or in terms of whatever it is that you're being presented with. I really don't even know why I got this deck. Oh, that's why, because I wanted to talk about this. So with the sacral energy, the sacral energy is all about creation. What I'm really hearing for this particular card, though, is, like I said, you want to make sure that you're slowing down with everything that you're doing. Don't make impulsive choices, impulsive decisions. Like I said, this is taking place in the sign of Aries, and Aries is all about action, right? So you do want to make sure that you're taking action, but you want to make sure that you're not taking action impulsively, right? You want to make sure that you're thinking things through. You want to make sure that you're reading and rereading different contracts and things that you might be presented with, different things that you're signing up for, different jobs that you might be taking, taking different jobs that you might be accepting from other people, or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that your vetting process is A1, okay? You don't want to sign yourself up for something, and then once this retrograde kind of dies down, you're regretting what it is that you signed up for, right? You want to make sure that you are reading and rereading everything. Text messages before you respond, business offers before you respond, emails before you respond, contracts before you sign a dotted line. You want to make sure that you are reading everything. When it comes to creativity, take your time while you're doing different things. Don't rush through the process. Don't try to fly through whatever it is that needs to be done. Take your time in order to avoid unnecessary mistakes, okay? Because during this time frame, you can make mistakes are going to happen in general, but during this time frame, these could be mistakes that could be avoided if you slow down. You understand? So you want to make sure that you're slowing down throughout this process, whatever it is that you're attempting to do, whatever it is that you feel led to do creatively, or whatever it is that you're desiring to do. You want to make sure that you're taking your time, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention to everything that you're doing before you accept, before you make that energetic exchange or create that energetic contract. You want to make sure that you are paying attention. All your T's are crossed, all your I's are dotted. Copy? Cool. Which brings us to awareness and choose wisely, okay? So with the awareness card, I mean, that's pretty much just saying simply that, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the choices that you're making, being aware of what you're doing. Slow down enough to where you're not moving on autopilot, because a lot of the times we are operating on autopilot. Let's just keep it a buck. We're so used to our regimen. A lot of the times we don't even have to think about it. We're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I used to work at a plant, and I ran 3 different machines, I used to do it so much that it was just literally like a robot. Like I check the tools, put it in the machine, pull it out, check the tools, put it in the machine, pull it out, check the tools, put it, you see what I'm saying? And it would be time frames where I'll be falling asleep and I'm like sleepwalking, still doing my job because it's a repetitive thing, right? But during this time frame, even though some of the things that you're doing is repetitive and you kind of know what it is that you're already doing, you still want to be aware. You don't want to disassociate during this time frame. You don't want to get so much in the groove because you're just so used to doing it, right? Even on your commute to work, right? You take these particular ways all the time, okay? You want to pay attention to what you're doing. You want to pay attention to what you're doing. Every single time that you're doing it, just slow down. And like I said, it's not a fearful thing like, oh my God, I'm gonna be moving so fast, I'm just fuck everything up. Like, no, it's not giving that. It's just during this time frame, energy can be so chaotic that if you're moving too fast or if you're not paying attention, that you are going to make mistakes or you are going to put yourself in a position to where you're going to end up having to pay for that later, right? Or you are going to end up being in a situation where it's some type of accident might occur because you weren't paying attention or you didn't slow down, long enough to catch the mistake before it happened, right? So I hate to say it, but during this time frame, you not only have to look after yourself, you have to look after other people. If we use a car accident again, like when you're not only driving for yourself, you're driving for everybody else that's around you, right? Because you not only have to pay attention to what you're doing, but you also have to pay attention to what others are doing so you can avoid a mistake that somebody else might possibly make, right? So just think about that throughout this time frame. So you want to be aware of what you have going on. You want to be aware of your surroundings. You want to be aware of everything that is that you're doing, right? That way you're able to make the right choices. It says choose wisely. You want to be able to make the right choices that are going to be beneficial for you and that are not going to set you back. You want to make choices that you're not going to end up regretting once retrograde finally is over. Okay, so this is what you're being told to do. Be very mindful with your connections during this time frame. Be very mindful with how you communicate with others and also give yourself and others grace during this time. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to everything that you're doing, whether this is creatively, whether this is a desire, whether this is something that has already been in motion. Make sure that you're paying attention. And you want to make sure that, like I said, make sure those I's are dotted, those T's are crossed. Read, reread again. Be diligent. Okay, because just because you desire it right now within the retrograde, I promise you, if it's not meant for you during this time frame, you're going to regret it afterwards. I can promise you that. If you desire it now, you're going to regret it later. So you want to make sure that this is really sitting with you and this is the right decision for you before you sign. Before you do anything that has to do with an energetic signature or a physical signature, you want to make sure that this is in alignment with you. Don't just jump the gun and be impulsive because it feels good. Think about what you're doing first, okay? And if it still resonates, go through with it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Simple as that, all right? And then, like I said, you want to be aware of everything that's going on around you. Slow down, pay attention, all right? That way you're able to make the right choices during this time frame, all right? So I'm gonna get some quick messages out for you and then we'll wrap this up. This wasn't gonna be that long, but being that the energy is already here, I wanted to make sure that I talked about it. So we have the Two of Cups energy, which is all about reciprocation, okay? So again, like I said, whatever it is that you're putting out during this time frame, and this isn't any time frame, whatever it is you put out is what you're going to get back, right? But this is also why you're being told to be mindful, to be diligent, to be careful, to be self-aware during this time, because whatever energy that you put out throughout this retrograde, you're going to feel it, not only throughout this retrograde, but especially after retrograde kind of dies down, right? This is all about just slowing down, okay? Slowing down and paying attention to what it is that you're doing. Now, What I will say is, if there's some things that you know that you needed to take care of prior, those are the things that you want to give your focus to during this time frame. If you know that you needed to start something, or if you know that you kept putting something off, this will be the time frame for you to focus on that. A lot of the times you're told not to start anything new during retrograde. I'm not going to say don't do that, but if you know there were things that you keep putting on the back burner, that needs your focus first. Okay, that's what you need to give your focus to first before you start something new or before you jump onto something new. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like I said, when it comes in terms of traveling, that's one of those things with the sacral chakra, right? When it comes to things of traveling, you want to make sure everything that you're supposed to be doing is already taken care of. You want to make sure that you're checking things, double checking things, triple checking things, okay? Now, during this time frame, you can expect it to be a little chaotic in terms of travel and things of that nature, because Mercury rules transportation. So there might be accidents on the way to wherever you need to go. There might be delays wherever it is you need to go. Okay, so keep that in mind too when it comes to the internet. Okay, because it rules communication. How do we communicate? We communicate through the internet. We communicate through Wi-Fi. We communicate verbally, and things of that nature. You can expect things to kind of have a lag, or things to not really work the way that it's supposed to. Maybe YouTube won't be working how it's supposed to. Maybe the emails, you're not receiving emails, or you have to keep resending emails and things of that nature. Just try to remain as calm as possible. Retrograde can really be stressful, okay? It can be if you allow it to be. But being that you have this information, just try to give yourself grace. Like I said, you want to try to give yourself grace, because at the end of the day, you already know what's going on. Astrologically, you know what's happening. You know what's going on. It's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So take your time, be patient, pay attention to everything. It's just as simple as that, okay? So I hope that this helps somebody out there. I hope that this helps somebody out there. It gave you some type of understanding of what could possibly be going on, or what you could possibly be picking up on and feeling right now at this time. But like I said, these are the key things that are being highlighted. Just your communication with others, your desires and your creativity, and also just paying attention and making wise choices during this time frame. This is what's being highlighted. So focus not only on these things, but definitely focus on these things, because this is what's coming out. Okay, so this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this made sense to you, whoever needed this message at this time. I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for trusting me with your energy. Love you guys so much, and I hope that this retrograde gives you some type of ease, babe. Okay, because it does get, y'all think this shine chaotic. Nah, retrograde is chaotic, okay? So that's it. That's all. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next video, okay? Bye.